Hi, I'm Julie Meechan, a vertebrate paleontologist at Des Moines University and lead author of the study titled A Mummified Pleistocene Gray Wolf Pup, Canis lupus from Yukon Territory, Canada, in Current Biology. Let's learn about our pup and how she was found.
This is Juri, our mummified wolf pup from the Pleistocene. Juri was discovered in July 2016 after melting out of the permafrost at a gold mine near Dawson City in Canada's Yukon Territory. Permafrost in the Yukon is an incredible source for fossil bones of Ice Age animals, like woolly mammoths, steppe bison, North American horses, and lions. Juri is unique because mummified bodies with preserved hair, skin, and flesh like this are incredibly rare from North America. Her name, Juri, means wolf in the Han language of the Tronde-Cochin, the indigenous people who live in this region. After Juri was discovered, we assembled a team of scientists to help us learn all about the life of this extraordinary Ice Age wolf pup.
I examined Juri's morphology. Since she has all her soft tissues intact, we need to be able to see her bones via x-rays. In this x-ray of Juri, you will see this little white center down here in her elbow. This is an ossification center of the olecranon process of her elbow. In living dogs, it forms between 6 and 8 weeks of age, and as you can see in Juri, it's present, but not fully formed. This tells us that Juri died somewhere between 6 and 8 weeks of age. If we want to know how long ago Juri lived, we use a technique called radiocarbon dating, or C14. When we did this technique, we found an infinite result. This infinite result tells us that Juri is older than 50,000 years of age. So, the only way that we can figure out how old Juri is now is to use another technique called a molecular clock.
In order to determine Juri's molecular age, we first generated a high-coverage mitochondrial genome with 27-fold average coverage using techniques optimized for recovering ancient DNA. We aligned her mitochondrial genome to other ancient and modern wolf mitochondrial genomes from across the world and built a time-calibrated phylogeny using BEAST, a Bayesian phylogenetic analysis software. We included other ancient samples that had been previously radiocarbon dated to serve as calibration points that allows us to calculate the molecular clock rate across the entire tree and to estimate Juri's age. We found that she's between 55 and 75,000 years old and forms a clade with other ancient Beringian and Russian wolves. To learn more about Juri's life and diet, she was sent to the University of Alaska Fairbanks for stable isotope analyses.
Typically, we get sent small samples from all over the world from specimens like this. And in this case, I actually got to hold the wolf pup myself, which was really cool. One of the first measurements we made of wolf pup was the oxygen isotope composition of a small fragment of wolf pup's tooth. This we used to reconstruct what the oxygen isotope composition was of the habitat that wolf pup was living in. The oxygen isotope composition of habitats can be changed by climate, and in warmer interglacial conditions, that is very, very different to the oxygen isotope composition of glacial conditions or colder, drier conditions. In this case, we actually found that the oxygen isotope composition of wolf pup was more consistent with interglacial conditions. And this actually lined up very nicely with the molecular clock data. We also measured the bulk, stable carbon and nitrogen isotope composition of claw and hair samples from wolf pup. And we were using these data to infer wolf pup's diet. We compared these data with published data sets from modern wolves, some of which had consumed large proportions of aquatic resources and salmon. And I think we were very surprised to see that wolf pup had had a large proportion of aquatic resources as part of its diet. Having found this, we went in deeper with some other analyses, including compound-specific isotope analyses.
In collaboration with a PhD student, Juliet Funk, I took samples of the claw of the wolf pup to measure the compound-specific stable carbon and nitrogen isotope ratios of individual amino acids to better infer the diet of the wolf pup. So compound-specific stable isotope analyses is a complementary approach to traditional bulk stable isotope analyses, which provides a higher resolution understanding of diet. So the data from these analyses backed up the bulk data and showed that the diet of the wolf pup, and by proxy the wolf pup's mother, was primarily composed of aquatic resources. So this relatively high proportion of aquatic resources may come as a surprise to many who envision wolves feeding on large megafauna like caribou and bison. However, we know that modern wolves will make use of aquatic resources like salmon when they have access to those resources.
Jure's complete body provides information about when and how she lived that can't be determined from bones alone. One of the consequences of climate change in the Arctic is that more of these mummies will be found in the future. And while this is really interesting for science, it highlights one of the problems of global warming, and that we need to take action now to save this planet and all of its treasures.